and welcome to Beer Grilled Skinny, where a mother-daughter team embraces the random. And let me tell you, you're in for an episode today because there's a little contention between the two of us. I am Lorianne, the daughter, and
I am Justine, the mom.
There's literally contention. You're conflating so many things right now.
Okay.
By the way, this is a continuation of the rambling where we talk about where we lived, and it leads to stories.
And the apartment that she and I were living in was after we moved out of the house that her dad and she had lived in because he wanted to go be with somebody else. Enough time had passed for me to get involved with a fella, and I was dating him, and Lorianne was having the weekends that she got to go with him. And then when my date was over and he ended up spending the night with me, here comes Daddy bringing little girl back home, and we wanted to do more, and I didn't want her to know about this man. I had to get a babysitter, and I got my sister-in-law's mom to commit to taking care of her for a day. And so when her dad drove up and ready to drop her off, I was ready to stick her in the car. I wasn't going to let her go in the apartment and see PT. Since PT's dead, I feel comfortable giving him a name.
Well, I mean, those are his initials.
Yeah,
even if
true.
He wasn't dead, no one's going to know who he is.
They might. But, time is passing. I'm getting old. A lot of these, he's under the ground. So anyhow, he would... her dad wanted to come in. He had always had this saying that whatever man has a woman for the first time in her life, he will always be able to have her anytime he wants her. And I think he was kind of thinking that was going to be a possibility with me because he was the first.
But I don't know. I think he's a narcissist who left you and didn't want you to find anyone else.
That's a strong possibility. Keep me safe in case he ever wanted to come back for any reason. Who knows?
No, I don't even think it's that. I think it's he didn't want you to be happy. He was done with you, so he didn't want you to be happy.
Maybe so. This was over on the northeast side of Atlanta, and I got a job.
We could be more specific. It was Decatur.
It was Decatur. I got a job in Locust Grove. So I was driving back and forth, miles and miles and miles on my car, and PT said I should move in with him because he lived on that side of town. And I did meet him at that hospital. That's how I met him. And so...
I thought it was Henry General, not Locust Grove.
Well, it might have been Henry General, but I think initially it was called Locust Grove because it was in the town of Locust Grove.
No, it was just Henry General. You just have that wrong.
Okay. All right. I'll give you that one.
You were so kind
to look it up. But anyhow, I did move in with him and left you with my mom. And I wanted to get out of that mess. I couldn't figure out how to get out of it. And so Mom bought us a mobile home, paid cash for it. I found it. It had been so well cared for. And
that's the part we were arguing about. My dad picked me up at Granny's and brought me to
I know that had happened,
the trailer.
Too. That had happened too. I can't remember why he was the one to go get you and bring you to the trailer, but even so, she and I ended up getting, because PT decided there should be 2 women in the house, and I was kind of a new drunk. I didn't drink. I hadn't been one to do much drinking. And so at a Christmas party, I drank too much, and I just wanted to get away, so I drove from his house to the trailer, and I would fall asleep on my way. I'm just so glad that there were no cops to get to me. And
since I wasn't the drunk one, I will tell you that it was New Year's Eve, not Christmas.
All right, New Year's Eve.
Because I was watching the New Year's Eve ball drop. And very worried about you.
I can understand. You had good reason.
And when you got home, I begged you not to drink anymore.
Now, I don't know if I gave up the drinking, but I did give up the PT.
You did give up the drinking for a while. You didn't totally give up the PT because, there's another story about another house that we'll get into.
Yeah. And I look back at some parts of my life, and I'm like, I had just lost my mind.
You did. You lost your mind. You may or may not have gotten it back.
So I got another job working for the psychologist, And I wanted to I'll even back up a little bit. I wanted to get away from PT so much. I applied for a job at another hospital, and they told me I had the job, and it'd be 10 days before I came on board. So I quit my job knowing that I had this job, and then suddenly they gave that job to somebody else. And I was going to sue them, and my brother said, if you do, you'll never get to work in a hospital again. I don't know. Did I ever work in a hospital again?
Yes, you worked at Fayette Medical Center, where they used you and abused you.
Yeah, that
and
wasn't
threw
a
you out.
hospital yet, but it is now.
Close enough.
And actually, they're affiliated with Piedmont. My, how time changes things. So, anyhow.
We're supposed to be talking about the places we lived. So we lived in the trailer.
Yes. And the people I was working for thought it'd be a good idea if we had a house. They thought that would make me more stable, that I would be less chancy of leaving my job because I was good at my job.
I feel like it was more I wanted to live in a house.
Well, I would have taken that into consideration.
See, this is the part where you made me listen to this prosperity preacher while we rode around in the car for hours.
Yeah.
And we'd listen to these tapes. I'm not going to say who it is because I'm not trying to get into religion here. But he was a prosperity preacher. Mm-hmm. And so I, at the ripe age of 12, got the idea that it would be good to name and claim it. That's what you do. You name it and you claim it. And I wanted to move into a house.
Okay. Well, you got to.
Uh-huh. I got to move into a house where you got the worst loan ever. And this caused bankruptcy.
Yeah.
It's weird that you're an accountant and you suck this much at making financial decisions.
Well, I would make better ones now, but back then I wasn't brought up to do that kind of stuff. I was a bookkeeper, and I twisted it into being an accountant, even though I hadn't finished getting my education. So, and because of that, I ended up running into another trickster, a con woman, who was willing to sell me her bookkeeping business. There was a contract, and my daddy always said, all you ever need is a handshake loan, don't have anything to do with lawyers. See how well prepared I was for the planet.
Well, he was just dumb.
Well, even so, that...
Ignorant, whatever words you want to use.
Yeah.
You 100% should have gotten a lawyer.
Oh, I should have.
And we were so poor that you didn't even feel like you could afford to have a lawyer go over the contract.
Well, it wasn't just that. It was a new business, and I had to pay her and make enough to keep afloat. But in addition to that, she was not supposed to be able to do business within a certain mile of the business. She wasn't supposed to be able to do it again. Well, she probably already bought the house, but she had a house like right out on the other side of the line and started taking her clients back, expecting me to pay and losing those clients. So I did go to a lawyer then, and he's like, it's too late now.
Exactly.
So that's, I believe, when the dream unfolded to go to California, when we lost that business.
Well, I had written a screenplay.
Yes.
And there was this fella called Howard Kazanjian. He produced movies like Raiders of the Lost Ark and... Anyhow, one of the Star Wars movies. And he was in the middle of working on a really crappy film with Charlie Sheen and Clint Eastwood. And he had sent me a letter saying, I love your writing, but I can't use you because you have no representation and no one knows you, and I'm going to have to use someone that's known. And I, of course, went, let me just hop on a plane with my best friend, and we'll fly out to L.A. and see if we can convince him otherwise. And amazingly, I went into his office in Burbank and talked to his receptionist, and she said, oh, yeah, he's over on the Warner Brothers lot. And they just let me drive over there and go on the lot, and I got to have a chat with him. It didn't work out. In fact, this movie has never been produced. It's called This Present Darkness by Frank Peretti. So if you're into Christian fiction, you can have a look. This was the thing back in 1987. It was 1989 when I went to L.A. And basically, Mr. Kazanjian said that I needed to come out there and just work on my writing. I didn't listen to him, of course. I came out there and worked on acting until my acting teacher said I should work on writing. So there's that.
Yeah. So when we had, a prophet tell us that we were on the right track.
Yeah, this is the same guy that told me I was going to marry Keanu Reeves. So that just tells you all you need to know about that prophet, because I ain't married to Keanu Reeves.
And so we packed up the house, put everything in storage, got in the car, put 8-Ball in the car, and drove across the country.
8-Ball, one of our cats.
Yes. And so we drove across the country, and I got us an apartment. It was a brand new apartment. We did not have one stick of furniture. I had, Mom's quilts and things like that. And so we slept on the floor, always knowing we're going to do better. We had some money. I can't remember, I guess from...
We did not have a lot of money.
No, we didn't have a lot.
There was that one day where you let me go over to Taco Bell and eat all by myself because we couldn't afford for both of us to eat. We would go to the local grocery store and have people beg us for money, and we're like, we can't help you out because we don't have money.
Yeah. Had a terrible rain, and that apartment flooded. So everything on the floor was wet. The apartment complex gave us another apartment. And that's the one where we were living when Mom came out and called the cops on us. But
it is not.
It is.
It is not. We moved to another apartment.
No, we moved from the one that flooded up to another apartment in the same complex.
And we still put up with the sound from the freeway?
Yes.
I thought we only did that for like a year.
Well, the timing I'm not sure about. I just know that's what we did. And... Mom came out there, and then we got another apartment.
My best friend came out, but she did not come out to that apartment.
No, she did not. She came out.
She definitely came to the one on Kling Street.
Yeah.
I probably shouldn't be saying the name of that address either. Came out to this apartment that we moved to that was like something out of classic Hollywood with this gorgeous swimming pool, and you just had... apartments surrounding it. She fell in love with it and still lives in one to this day.
Yeah, I know. So, in the meantime, I'm picking up temp jobs, worked in a furniture store, Crate and Barrel. Finally, I told I went to an agency and I said, I want work and I only want to work in the studios because, see, I was full of faith. And somewhere in there, I ended up working for a production company, which then became another production company, and then became another production company, and finally I made it to Disney.
Yeah, I think I started off at Warner Brothers, and then I ended up at Disney as well.
Yeah.
And I got permanent work before you did, but then they licensed out the department I was in, so then I had to go temp.
Yeah.
I will never get over the fact that they were like, you can't be hired because you don't have a degree, but you can stay temp forever.
Yeah.
Whereas this other guy that I worked with, this was a finance department, mind you, and I knew exactly what I was doing. He got his degree as a drummer in music at Berklee School of Music, and they're like, yeah, we'll totally hire you because you've got a degree. But if you don't have a degree, we're not going to hire you. It was ridiculous. I'll never forget, they stuck me in this stupid little office. It was an ugly little office. It had no windows. It was just 4 walls. I actually preferred the, what do you call those things? Yeah, the cubes. But they stuck me in there, and then one day someone was like, we have a temp
I know.
in an office? We're going to move you to a cube. And I'm like, oh... I felt kind of like that character in, I can't remember the name of the character, but it was a rabbit that was like, don't throw me in the briar patch.
Yeah.
That's what I felt like. I'm like, oh, I'm so sad. You're
Uncle
sticking
Remus.
me in a cube. Yes.
So, I was a temp for quite some time, too, until one day I just walked into the guy that was running the department, and I said, I want to go to work for you.
Was that M?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
And ended up being my supervisor, but he made it happen. I became an employee. And it was not a bad job.
Well, you made more money than you ever made anywhere else.
That's true.
Not that it was great, because L.A. is pretty expensive.
Yeah.
All right, so we went from that one apartment to the other apartment.
To up on the hill.
Oh, is that what you call it, the hill? It's all of these were in Burbank, by the way.
Yes.
And the third apartment was quite nice, except for the marble. Were they marble floor tiles? Or just ceramic?
I think just ceramic. Pretend marble.
Teeny tiny kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, we went to Virginia.
Yeah.
And we ended up in another apartment. That one was in Stanton. I was supposed to start at UVA, the University of Virginia. And I went there for about a week, and I just realized that Mom wasn't going to make it trying to do temp work on her own while I just hung out in school. So I deferred my enrollment for a year, and we both went to work in temp jobs.
Yeah.
Which is what led to meeting my husband.
Nice.
It was nice, because I had met this fella. I'm not going to say anything about him other than that I met him. We had chemistry, and I was really into him, but he was engaged, and so it didn't work out. He was attracted to me as well. I think he was actually questioning whether he had made the right decision, and so that was what was making him attracted to me. But he's been with this woman for like 25 years now. They have 2 beautiful daughters. I'm glad that I can just be the temptress that makes you go, no, I think I found the right one.
Yeah.
It was kind of fun.
Yeah.
But it was painful when we got to Virginia for me, because I was really into him.
Yeah.
That was total infatuation. And then when I met my husband online, I kept thinking, well, this isn't going to work, even though I had a list and he was every single thing that I had ever wanted. And now here we are, almost at 21 years.
And I'll tell you what, I think when the universe crossed y'all's lines to where you intersected at the same spot, that's when the universe had decided, okay, you've had enough. I'm going to do something good for you.
Every once in a while, it could do a little more good for me.
Wow.
I wouldn't have a problem with that. And you know what would help with that? If you guys like, subscribe, and comment.
Yes.
3 little things. Just like, subscribe, comment. You can dislike if you want to, but I would love it if you would comment.
Yeah.
And I don't think we're quite finished with this.
No, we're not.
This is a series. We've got one more episode, I believe.
Yep.
And then we'll be done with the rambling. Thank you so much if you've lasted this long. We enjoy that you're here, even though you're not talking to us.
Yes.
And I look forward to seeing you on the flip side.
We're beer grill skinny, ready